There's this guy who goes by the name JungleJargon, and he thinks that directed mechanisms are proof of a director/maker, i.e. God. He won't define what a directed mechanism is, but apparently it includes biological processes, because they can't magically make themselves. Not only that, they can't do anything by themselves, apparently, because, and I quote, objects and forces never act on their own. JungleJargon, or JJ, as I will call him from now on, also doesn't understand the whole burden of proof thing. He figures that the default position is to believe that because directed mechanisms exist, there's a director, and it's up to those who don't believe this to prove him wrong, despite the fact that he's obviously making a positive claim. But okay, JJ, I will prove you wrong. I don't have to, but since I can, I will. You want me to show you a mechanism that is directed, but that doesn't have a director? Okay. First, let's look at what a mechanism is. It's a system of interacting parts. So I assume that by directed mechanism you mean a system of interacting parts that, under specific conditions, always acts in a consistent manner. I can't see what else you could possibly mean. Biological processes would be included in this definition, and so would any man-made machine. You want to see a naturally occurring system, which also fits the definition. How about... oh, I know. Every naturally occurring system in the universe! Congratulations, JJ. I don't think anyone has ever been more wrong about anything. See, there's this thing called the second law of thermodynamics. It's a fundamental law of nature which states that the entropy of an isolated system never decreases. If a system of interacting parts, or any system, isn't in a state of equilibrium, meaning that it does nothing, it does whatever will increase the entropy of the system, until the entropy can't get any higher, which means a point of equilibrium has been reached. Everything is directed by a fundamental law of nature. I gave you an example of a ball, which might as well be a rock or whatever, rolling down a hill. And you simply said that forces don't direct anything because they're one way. I suppose you mean that because the force couldn't be in any other direction, the force of gravity can't be what decides how to direct the ball. Yeah, sure, I guess you could put it that way, but why can't the force be in any other direction? And why does the ball follow the force? It's because the system of the ball and the earth, a system of interacting parts, you know, a mechanism, is directed such that it strives to reach a point of equilibrium. The ball will roll down the hill every time. How about a puddle of water that cools down at night? Heat is transferred from the water to the relatively cold air because an even distribution of thermal energy is a state of higher entropy. The system of interacting parts, you know, a mechanism, is directed such that it strives to reach a point of equilibrium. The puddle will cool down to the temperature of the surrounding environment every time. Chemical reactions happen because of interactions between different particles. Once they get close to each other, the total entropy of the system will increase if they interact. So they interact. Because the system of interacting parts, you know, the mechanism, is directed such that it strives to reach a point of equilibrium. The reaction will occur every time. A biological process, by the way, is nothing more than a highly complex set of chemical reactions. It may be complex, but it's still the same basic rule that applies. Everything that happens, everything, is a result of a system of interacting parts reaching a state of higher entropy. If you are going to argue that every system in the universe needs to be individually directed by an invisible wizard, simply because nature doesn't permit spontaneous actions, even if those actions lead toward equilibrium, then what you're saying is that a fundamental law of nature, the second law of thermodynamics, violates the laws of nature. Are you seriously that stupid? Because in that case, Neff has got competition. Look, you can't prove the supernatural by pointing out that the natural behaves the way it does, unless you can prove that the natural, left to its own, would act some other way. You just assert that it would. Show me a one-way chemical reaction spontaneously reverse itself. Or show me a ball spontaneously roll up a hill. Or a puddle of water spontaneously heat itself to a temperature higher than that of the surrounding environment. And then show me, somehow, that what just happened was the natural order of things and not the suspension of it. Disprove the second law of thermodynamics, and then I'll listen to you when you say that there must be something supernatural directing all the directed mechanisms in the universe. Good luck.